Hey, this is Brandon Johannes from It's Time for Gaming, and I just got back from seeing Resident Evil Afterlife. Not what I expected. I liked the other Resident Evil movies. I mean, I liked them a lot. I liked the first one, the second one, third one. I mean, it was the most inventive zombie movie I've ever seen. But the fourth one, it didn't do much for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, the action was great, and the 3D effect really added to it. It's just the story sucked. I mean, there was no story. Except, Alice goes here, blows it up. Alice goes there, blows it up. Alice goes over there, and blows it up. Character there! Oh, he died. And just random cameos from Resident Evil 5. And, like, the Las Plagas are in it for some reason, and they're not explained why they're there. Let me just give you the rundown of the story. Basically, in the last one, Alice found a bunch of clones of herself, and she said, like, she was going to use all these clones to go and attack the Umbrella Corporation for revenge for letting this happen, and they're still doing experiments and stuff. Well, in this one, the movie automatically starts out in the Umbrella Corporation in Tokyo. And then she brings her clones in, and then kills everybody, and then she goes after Wesker, and the clones are with her, and they're all going after Wesker, but Wesker escapes in a helicopter, and he self-detonates the entire base, killing all the clones, which just, like, the whole storyline of the third one was about the clones, and the clones in the desert, and at the very end, it was about, like, saving the clones and all that, and like, the storyline just ends right in the beginning of this fourth movie. It's like, what? You had all these clones from the end of the third one, like, thousands of Alices, and you just killed them all off in the first 10 minutes? That sounds like a waste, to me. A waste of potential. But anyway, she kills them all, and when he's driving away in the helicopter, of course, Alice is still with them. And she goes up behind him, going to kill Wesker, and then she puts her gun to his head and said, "Any last words?" And then Wesker turns around and injects her with the fluid that, like, turns off her powers. And because in the other one, she had all these super strength and agility and speed, and she had telekinesis, which you saw in the third one. And the stuff he injected her with sucked it all away. So now she's human again, and she goes to the corner, and she tries fighting Wesker, but of course he still has superpowers, so he beats the crap out of her. And she falls to the corner, and then he goes to her. "Any last words?" And she just goes, "Thank you." "For what?" "For making me human." And then he turns around, remembering that he didn't have autopilot on. Which is like oh, hi, Cameron. Which is like the dumbest move I've ever seen. Why would you go off to fight someone and not turn autopilot on for your jet?
You know what? You want to know what Alice should have said?
Hold on, that is just like the most retarded thing I've ever heard of. But then, of course, the plane crashes, and then like right before it crashes, it goes into freeze frame, like the Matrix, like freeze frame, and everything's still, which there is no point to it. And it just goes across the entire area of the plane. Everything is stopped. And you see Wesker, like, in front of the explosion trying to stop, and he's, like, flying in the air like Superman. And you see Alice in the back doing the exact same thing in the exact same position, and then it zooms out of the plane and goes out of freeze frame and it crashes. The most pointless freeze frame I've ever seen.
You want to know what Alice should have said during the whole thing?
What?
She should have said, after she got beat up, she should have said, "Hey, Wesker." "Yeah." "Who's flying the plane?" "Uh-oh."
He should have gotten that balloon, you know, from the movie Airplane? The autopilot balloon?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it crashed into the side of the mountain, and somehow, Alice, you know, she's human now, and somehow she survived a jet going 1,000 miles per hour crashing into a mountain.
Yeah.
And burst into she was fine. She just had, like, a couple scratches and bruises on her.
And Wesker, who was actually mutated, died.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He was hurt real bad.
No, he died. That's what he says later in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, he said if he died, that means somebody else would have to inject him with the T-virus at the end. But if she killed everyone, who could have possibly done it?
Umbrella.
Okay.
And you wanna know what?
Well,
And
anyway,
you wanna know what's sad about that part? About when Wesker was dying? Why couldn't they show the real way that Wesker died? You know, with Spencer. Why couldn't they show that?
Spencer didn't kill Wesker. I told you that. In the games, he didn't. I played the game all the way through.
Resident Evil 5 he did.
Who's Spencer?
Spencer,
He wasn't even Resident Evil 5.
the creator of Umbrella.
He wasn't even Resident Evil 5.
They mentioned that in Resident Evil 5. That he was killed by Spencer.
All this will be cut out.
He was killed by Spencer.
No, he wasn't. All this will be cut out.
I'll show you Resident Evil 5.
All this will be cut out. And where were we? Anyway, the plane just crashes into the side of the mountain. You know, like Alice gets out. She survives the explosion, you know, being human, and walks away. And then it cuts to her flying in an antique plane across the country looking for life. And she's doing like these video logs of herself, like commenting what she's seeing and all that. And it basically skipped what had happened after the plane crash, why she wasn't hurt. But whatever. It skipped to 6 months later. And then eventually she lands in Alaska because in the third one they found out there was some kind of safe haven in Alaska. So she lands there looking for the survivors of the third one. And of course she finds nobody. And eventually she finds Claire after she attacks her. And when she looks at her, she has the spider thing on her chest. You know, the thing from Resident Evil 5, those little, like, what are they called?
I don't think they ever tell you, but basically...
But it's those things in Resident Evil 5, the spider things like they attach to Jill, that Wesker attached to Jill to make her fall into his control.
I can't remember what they're called, but there's some mind control device.
Whatever. They were in this movie, not explained. They were not explained why they're in this movie. It does not explain what they do. So...
You're supposed to play Resident Evil 5. Basically, if you want to get this movie, play Resident Evil 5. They're not going to explain anything.
Yeah,
just play Resident Evil 5.
If you played the games, you know what the spiders are. But what if you've never played the games? You would be completely clueless because the writing sucks.
They would be like this. This would be the movie theater if you never played Resident Evil 5. Why are their mouths opening like octopuses? What are those red spiders?
What are those red spiders? What is going on?
Who's that?
What is on my hand?
Who's that guy with the sunglasses?
Oh, no, they explained that in the third one.
Oh, that's right.
But it's just nothing was explained.
Oh, and
the only way to, know anything in this movie is unless you played the games. But I can tell you right now, most of the 50-year-old women and men in that movie have not played those games.
And you know nothing? In the very end, Wesker said that to be revived, he was injected with the T virus. Wasn't in the games. Wasn't he injected with the T, G, and Los Plaga? Isn't that how he mutates into a POW in like every game? T virus doesn't do that.
He didn't get the Lost Plaga until the fifth one.
Yeah, he got the Lost Plaga in the fifth one, but why didn't they mention the G virus? That was one of the things he was injected with.
I don't know. They didn't have to explain it, but whatever.
And another thing, where does degeneration fit into all this?
It's just in a whole other movie.
Oh.
Well, anyway, after she finds Claire and takes the spider off her, Claire wakes up having amnesia, and and then it just skips like a whole bunch of plot, and they're back on the plane again, and Claire is with her, and her hair's all cleaned. It looks like she just took a shower, and they're just flying away. And you're just wondering, so what happened when you took the spider off, and what happened between then and the hours later when you got back on the plane?
And
I guess it didn't matter.
And in Resident Evil 5, after they took the spider off Jill, right? Didn't it take her like a couple hours to regain consciousness? And even
it didn't take her a couple hours.
Well, it took her like 20 minutes. At least I remember, and she was in incredible pain.
So did it in the fifth one. But in the fifth one, it looked like in the fifth one, though, they had to really pull it off. But in this one, it's like, there we go.
Flick. And
anyway, it just amazes me that they threw those mind control spiders in for no reason, and you see them throughout the movie on people, and they never explain why it's there.
Yeah.
God.
Maybe they'll explain in the next one. Maybe they'll take all the plot holes from this one and explain them in the next one.
What plot holes? There was no plot.
Oh. Well, yeah, kinda. She was looking for...
It had the plot of a video game. That's basically what it was. Level 1. Bang, bang, bang. Boss. Bang. Next level. Bang, bang.